The story of Zed's house is a story of epic triumph and epic failure. This property has gone through a crazy history over 20 years, and I'm going to unfold it in front of you while watching Zed reviewing his mansion in Beverly Hills. I'm going to grade this property, and then we're going to talk about how he potentially lost one of the biggest financial opportunities in residential real estate. Are you guys ready? Let's get started.
What's up, guys? My name is Zed, and welcome to my home. I'll take you on a little tour.
Here's the front yard, guys, and the approach, the private driveway.
This is part of the view. I really never get tired of a view like this.
Call this a mountain view in Los Angeles. I give it a 6.
And relaxing. So the way this is structured for me is that this section of the house is work. The bottom part will be the studio. The top part is the gym, indoor and outdoor. This section of the house is living, and this is like sleeping. Welcome to the house. I don't know how, but nobody's ever fallen in here.
It's not really child-friendly.
Drunk or not drunk, please don't be the first one. This is the small door to the house. You can, when you open it, decide whether you want to go here or here. I'll go here.
Imagine the wow factor when you walk in, a lot of natural light coming in.
Is that
I don't like the
really
stairs
open.
over there.
You see a lot of glass,
Yep,
really tall ceilings here, so you have a little bit of everything right away. And this tree, this entire house was actually built around this tree.
What?
Unfortunately, it is dying.
And it's dying. This is a great segue, guys, to jump into a couple items to give you guys a little bit more information about where is this house and how good is the location, okay? So here is the property. It's in Beverly Hills Post Office, okay? It's very far away from actual Beverly Hills. This is Beverly Hills here, and here's Beverly Hills Post Office. You're almost in the valley. For that reason, I'm gonna give it a 7, okay? Then we're gonna talk about lot quality. This is an amazing lot. You're 3 acres flat. I'm gonna give it a 10. Lot orientation. Look, you're almost perfectly south facing. You're end of a cul-de-sac. It's also another 10. It doesn't get better than that. And then I'm gonna talk about lot utilization. So look at this. You have a private driveway. Why is private driveways important? Because you get to set the mood, right? You're like, forget about your crazy day you had today. I'm gonna come and frame you through the driveway to show you this experience of a house that you've never seen before. So it's very luxurious, ultra luxury to have a private driveway. And then you have a massive frontage. And this is why it was a good segue to come from the tree, because the tree in the house is over here. And by putting this at the center of the house, they have to push the house all the way to this corner, creating an unbalanced area where you have a very huge front yard, right? And relatively speaking, small backyard and small side yards. For this, and this was a massive miss if you ask me, because this is a 3-acre property, you know? So why would you place the property there when you could have had a more balanced front and backyard? And for that reason, I'm gonna give lot utilization a 6. We can also talk about privacy, which is excellent. Look, you're perched up at the end of a cul-de-sac. No house looks into your property. You look into everyone else's house. I'm gonna give privacy a 10. And views, I already said, it's mountain views. You don't really get a city view because these mountains are blocking it. And for that reason, I'm gonna give it another 6. Okay, we're gonna talk about scale and architectural style later, but let's watch the rest of the video.
To replace it with an artificial tree that looks just like this, and I'll also add an iPhone charger in there in case I ever want to charge my phone right here. Temperature, lighting, gate, shades, cameras. This is like the pad that lets you control everything. And this is a little hand that holds my keys.
Doesn't come with the house.
Currently, this wall is just a wall full of art, silly things, and awards. They're all kind of mixed in, so there will be a Grammy next to a poop emoji. So this is the gallery, the art gallery. The person who built the house is a big fan of art, and he was playing with the thought of maybe even having some moving art pieces here. I love the ceilings here because it gives you a lot of space for art.
So let's talk about scale right now, okay? Scale is super important because luxurious homes, you want to have great ceiling heights, but it's not just the ceiling heights. You also want to have width. As you can see over here, the width of these rooms are not ideal. They're a little bit too narrow and long, and that's just not perfect. Okay, now before I score the scale, architectural style, finishes, and layout, you should know that at the end of the video, I'm going to tell you guys why I think he missed an opportunity to make a lot of money by choosing to buy this house as to possibly other properties where he could have made significantly more money. Okay, for scale, it's just not cohesive. Some of the rooms are fantastic, But ceiling height is not everything. Also, the width of the rooms, right? The volumes have to match. Ceiling height, it scores really well, but they're just these narrow hallways that kind of makes me feel like a dormitory. And it's just, I don't feel that volume, and I'm not loving it. So for that reason, I'm going to give the scale a 6. So
the
here's
pool
the backyard.
has to be at 97 degrees.
97 degrees, but okay, guys, now compare the backyard to the front yard, and that's why I scored the lot utilization. Not that this is a small backyard, but it was a real big missed opportunity.
So this place was built kind of like a resort. All the guest bedrooms are all back to back, and everybody has direct access to the pool. There's an outside barbecue area with obviously...
Okay, look at that backsplash of the wall. Architecturally speaking, and this also has to do with exterior finishes, it just looks dated. It was done in 2016, and it was a backward-looking design instead of a forward-looking design. There were a lot of other really cool architectural styles coming out during that time. Like they had this very Malibu, I would say James Pierce style, where it was very warm and earthy. They call it barefoot modern. And this is just not that. It's, the textures are just not the perfect match, that calming that goes with the calm modern. It's kind of a typical modern, I would say. And for architectural style, I'm just going to score it a 7 because I like the overall design of the house, but it doesn't give me that warm vibe that I like personally in modern homes because they could get a little bit cold.
These are also probably the largest stairs ever. And I think they made them so it's a little bit more comfortable to walk or run upstairs if it's urgent. All right, this is the master. Welcome.
Yeah, the finishes are really showing their age, guys.
It has the same stone that we've seen earlier on the outside and on the inside. This view is beautiful and amazing to have, but I can't sleep if it's not completely dark, so this is saving my life right here. You can just click a button, so this is the magic. There's a lot of amazing things about this house, but this is probably the thing that makes me the happiest. There we go. So this is the master outside patio. It's a really nice place to have a coffee if you drink coffee, or watch TV if you don't want to watch TV inside, or have the fire outside if you don't like fire inside.
So no elevator, again, another element that we're going to talk about in the end of the video, the fact that it's just not really child-friendly. Look at that long stairway.
It is the kitchen, the sort of dining area, and the living space. This works as a dining table as well. It has built-in hibachi grills, and then there's 4 ovens for, I don't know, when you want to make 4 cakes at the same time, I guess. This is the stove, and a little story about this little guy here. I had never seen these before. It's a pot filler, so you don't have to, put water in it and carry it. You just can do it right here. That's when I knew that I wanted the house, because I thought that if somebody thought about this, they probably thought about other things too.
Okay, it's been around for some time. I think he's from Germany and he hadn't seen these, so pot fillers are pretty common, even $3 million homes now, new construction homes.
There's water. It's magic. This is the reason I bought the house. Along here in the kitchen and in the preparation kitchen, there's built-in vacuums. So if you prepare food and you drop something, you just kick it in and it goes through to the central vacuum, which is hidden in the server room.
Central vacuums? No one has central vacuums anymore. It's overkill. You just have maids. So the views are really awesome. I mean, these are as good as the mountain views get. I feel a little bit sad. I scored it, was it a 6 or a 7? Let's give it a 7 because they're really, really good mountain views. And you get 360 and panoramic. It's really beautiful.
Living area. This is where we spent most of the time.
But look at that elevation difference. Look at this.
No surprise at this point anymore, but it does have a fireplace as well.
1, 2, 3.
It has.
Again, we're going to come back to this. We're going to talk about financial decisions, right? How I believe he lost a huge opportunity to make a lot of money from residential property, like what Ellen DeGeneres does or Adam Levine does. All these very wealthy celebrities, but also make money with their residential properties, buying gorgeous homes, but homes that have a good appreciation or upside. And I just think this was Zed's probably first big house, and he just didn't really kick ass in this department.
These doors open and hide in
pocket doors
in that stone wall and in this little wood piece. All the doors from all the rooms hide in there. So I can kind of open this for you. So because the tile inside the house and outside is the same, and there's even a little bit of roof that is still over there, you kind of lose sense of when you're inside or outside. Like when you're here, it feels like you might still be inside. And that's, for me, the definition of indoor-outdoor living. is
that
when it
is the definition of indoor-outdoor living. Spot on that one. But I have to talk about the finishes at this point because I'm not loving them. I give the finishes a 6. When they came out was probably a 7, but they've definitely aged. And I just don't like all the materials used. There's no softness to it. I don't like the floors. I would have much rather they've used a warmer wood floors instead of tiles. Not a big fan of finishes at all. I mean, to a person with exquisite taste who's buying this property for the lot, it's really a gut job. They would want to change significant amount of this property to bring it up to par to what's in today.
really melts together and you can't really tell.
And also do the lot justice because it sits on an amazing lot.
Let's head upstairs to the gym that's not finished yet. There will be a huge machine here covering the majority of the room. I have no clue what I'm doing because my trainer's not here. Gym. But he'll be really proud seeing.
Yeah, he needs to work out a little bit harder. So that gym, again, missed opportunity. You need to have an infrared sauna or a dry sauna there, maybe a cold plunge, all that outdoor air spaces. You got to make it a Zen space. Again, he's a single guy. He's probably not paying attention to this stuff, and he's quite young. So all those areas are potentially could be little nooks and areas where you could really add value, which I really like.
It's still sort of a garage, but it will become a music studio. We have to dig 5 feet down because you need a certain height to be able to have a good sounding studio. And then there will be stairs going down, and there will be one room here and one big room over there. I promise that's what it will be eventually. All right, guys, thanks for checking out my house.
Okay, I haven't talked about layout, and it's kind of an X-shape layout, right? It's really has a lot of long hallways, and for that reason, I have to give layout a 7. It does have the wow factor when you walk in, but I really want to bring attention to you guys to the financial history of this house because it's really interesting what has happened over here. Let's start with 2021 when this property was listed for $1,495,000 as a piece of land, and it ends up selling at 1.425. Okay, then the year after, the person who bought it sells it for $1 million of profit for 2.475. The year after that, the person who bought it from that person sold it for $3.5 million. And then the financial crisis happened in 2006. You see, the last transaction was in 2007. And then boom, this last person held the bag, ended up selling it for $1.6 million, lost a ton of money, more than half of what he had bought it for. Then the person who buys it for $1.6 million develops the house and builds this modern house on it, right? And ends up listing it for $20 million, eventually selling it for $16 million in 2017. Now, ZED just sold this property in February 2023 for $18,350,000. Now, you got to pay attention to this. During the biggest boom that every property during that time in Los Angeles, most properties appreciated by 50%, right? And he ended up, after closing cost, making a 10% profit, which is really bad investment. A good example is if he would have bought a $16 million house in 2017 in Truesdale, I promise you that property would be around $30 million today. But he chose a really, really nice house, a bigger house on a bigger lot in a B location, a C location, C plus location, right? And he just didn't get that appreciation because there are fewer people that would have choose that property in that location over more prime areas. Another big mistake he made is that this house was very bachelor oriented, right? Did you remember that long hallway? It looked like a dormitory. The house had a lot of steps, not child friendly, at a huge staircase, again, not child friendly at all. And the biggest, wealthiest, and the largest demographic are families with kids. If your house is not catered towards them, or at least a little bit catered towards them, you're eliminating that buyer pool. Look, if you like these type of videos, you should check this video. And also subscribe and leave a comment if you have any questions. You want me to review a property, let me know what you like. I would love to hear from you guys. Thanks for supporting the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Take care.